we've got senior advisors for both candidates with us, Robert Gibbs from the Obama campaign and Nicole Wallace from the McCain campaign. Nice to have you both here.
Nice to be here.
Let me start, Nicole, with you and what
Sure.
Andrea was just talking about, this New York Times CBS poll. It's got 14-point lead for Barack Obama. That's one poll. A lot of other polls are much, much closer. But inside this poll, what Andrea just talked about, that about 60% of people say that they have been turned off by negative attacks by John McCain on Barack Obama. How do you respond to that?
Well, listen, the polls are down. Many, present company excluded, are counting John McCain and Sarah Palin out. And John McCain has been here before. The landscape looked pretty similar, actually far more bleak during the Republican primaries. So I think he's talked about how Americans need to take these final 3 weeks and really ask themselves, do they want someone who has a record of fighting for them? Do they want someone with a record of reform? Or do they want someone who says one thing and does another? And I'll get to your question about negative attack.
Yeah.
Barack Obama has been brilliant, and Robert has been brilliant at painting our campaign as the one that launches negative attacks.
She's setting you up for something here.
Listen, the truth is Barack Obama has spent more millions of dollars on negative attack ads than John McCain, and we've lost the spin.
But the perception here, if you listen to this poll, the perception is that John McCain's the one being negative. So how's it going to impact the tone tonight? Will John McCain go negative tonight? Can he afford to go negative tonight?
Well, listen, we've never been interested in negative attacks for the purpose of negative attacks, but the truth has to stand on its own tonight. So the truth about Barack Obama's record of raising taxes on half of small business income in America, the truth about Barack Obama's plan for raising taxes. Barack Obama is measuring the drapes. He and Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid are planning a liberal Democratic takeover
Robert,
of our economy.
I got to let you jump in here. Go ahead.
I think you got a delayed answer to your question about whether there's going to be negative attacks. They're not losing a spin war. That was a poll of the American people. 6 in 10 people think John McCain is far more interested, twice as many, more interested in attacking Barack Obama than saying what he'd do as President of the United States. What we need to do in this debate, and what Barack Obama's done in each of the previous debates, and what he'll do tonight, is lay out a plan to get this economy moving again, to make health care more affordable, to cut taxes for middle-class families.
What are the rules of engagement for your candidate tonight? If John McCain, and we don't know what's going to happen tonight, but if the subject of Bill Ayers or another negative subject comes up tonight, out of the mouth of John McCain, what are the rules of engagement? Does Barack Obama let it slide off his back, or does he fire back?
Well, look, we will respond appropriately, whatever the question and the response is. But I think that poll demonstrates that the American people want to see from the person who's going to be the next President of the United States, what are the solutions that they have for their family? How are you going to create jobs and get them back to work? Only 7% of the people think this country is headed in the right direction.
I think it's about 4% who think it's in the right direction.
What Barack Obama is going to do is lay out a forceful case for change, because, quite frankly, we can't afford 4 more years of the same George Bush, John McCain
Let me ask you about race in polling. In particular, article in the New York Times also this morning says, look, we don't know about whether people are honest with pollsters when they're called, whether they're willing to express perhaps racial bias. And as a result, one top Democratic advisor said, I shave a couple of points off all these polls that favor Obama, because I think when some voters, some white voters, get in the voting booth, they're going to say no, and they're going to let that racial bias come out. How do you both feel about that?
I'll go first. I can only quote the pollster on the race that maybe 20 or 25 years ago that coined this term that pollsters would get an inflated number, and said that just never existed in that race. It's become far more of a myth. I don't think.
Do you think it exists, Nicole?
I think people are looking for change. That's what they're going to go into this poll looking for.
I would agree. I mean, I think that the polls certainly have John McCain well behind, and we view ourselves as probably 6 points behind, and we think that's real. And we're going to seek to make up ground by showing that John McCain is the only one who has fought for the American people. He's the only one who will actually bring about the change in Washington. No one is running on anything other than change. Everyone is running on changing the direction of this country. John McCain is the only one who's actually done it. On race, I would just say the poison that was injected by the Obama campaign surrogates on Friday is one that no one should stand for. Not the media, not the Obama campaign, and John McCain will not stand for that.
I'll give you 5 seconds.
Matt, I'm shocked that there's polls that show that the McCain campaign is far more interested in attacking Barack Obama than in proposing solutions. We get a good evidence of it right here on the couch at the Today Show.
If there's a headline that comes out of the interview, it's that she called you brilliant. Don't let that go.
I stand by
I should have taken that run, right?
Nicole and Robert, nice to have you both here.